Hi, it's Emily with Emily Talks. Welcome back again today. This is my second video for today. I just spent almost 50 minutes, probably at least 50 minutes just talking at my little camera here. So this is a little intense for me to record two videos in one day, but I'm really hoping that this one becomes a little bit more condensed. My last video was on setup for success, set yourself up for success, and this is my setup of success here. So set yourself up for success. Check out that other video if you dig my setup, and figure out yours, because it's important. What goes into these eyeballs and makes a connection in your brain of happiness, it's important. So I want to talk a little bit today about prefacing, because in my last video where I was talking about why is mysticism BADONG, I did some prefacing. And I touched on what is prefacing and why I shouldn't do it. And then I proceeded to preface because there's something about needing to make qualifiers before I say anything that causes problems. And I think something that I learned in my distress tolerance partial hospitalization program that I did was to stop making excuses before I said something. And it made me very aware of how I was aware of how I talked to people. It made me aware and accountable of the way that I thought about other people before I even opened up my mouth. And that's something that's really tough for me, that I have struggled with over the years, is feeling less than, feeling like I have to make excuses for myself, feeling that I needed to control the people around me when I talk to them, because, you know, I need them to think what I want them to think, or, you know, if I can't control the way that they think, it makes them unpredictable, and I'm scared of unpredictability. What if they don't like me? What if they reject me? What if they hate me? You know, all of these things pushed me towards this desire for control over others. And that expressed itself through prefacing. So what is prefacing? Prefacing is when I go to say something, but before I even say it, I have to talk about what I'm going to say. So that's all of what prefacing is trying to create, trying to explain myself beforehand, or create an idea of what I'm about to say and push that on the audience, you know, push that on you. That one of the best ways to say that is no offense, but, right? When someone is about to be offensive, they say to you, no offense, but it's like, yeah, actually you are being offensive. You know you're about to be offensive, and you don't want to be responsible for being offensive. Or you imagine that person's reaction because you understand how it could be justified, or you understand how your ideas are not going to fly in this situation, and you try to force them to fly anyway. And, you know, if you truly, you know, don't believe that that thing is offensive, you should not have to say no offense, but, because it's not offensive. That has everything to do with that other person's perspective. Let go of it. Wish them well on their own ability to understand what's coming out of your mouth. But if you feel like that preface is still required, you should probably check on what you're saying and why you're saying it, because deep down you believe that it's offensive and you just don't want to be responsible for that. I have had to take on this message for myself. So I talked about 3 different ways that prefacing can be expressed. And one of them is I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Not wanting to ruffle any feathers means that I don't want to take up space, you know, that I want to make myself so small that no one responds to me. And that comes from a place of being scared if attention is focused on me. I need to sneak around and be quiet and make myself as small as possible so that that scary attention doesn't come onto me. I need to not ruffle any feathers, because if I ruffle feathers, it's dangerous for me. And that doesn't give me any space to live and just be myself. And when I was talking in a different video, and I don't remember which one, but about the chakras, that there's this idea of the heart chakra, that if, you know, you're closed in like this, if you're hunched over, you're protecting your heart. You're trying to keep yourself from taking up space, and to open up your chest, open up your heart chakra, not just leaves you vulnerable, but shows that you feel like I feel confidence in myself. I leave myself vulnerable because I know I can protect myself. I leave myself vulnerable because then I leave myself open to new ideas and new experiences. I leave myself vulnerable because I trust myself to take care of me. I leave myself vulnerable because there's something worth it while in me that should be out there in the world. I open up my chest. I open up my heart because I deserve to take up space, and I have something important about me, and I know that I can care for myself in standing in my own self. So that sense of not ruffling feathers, get rid of that prefacing. The other one is, you know, trying to make excuses for ideas. And this kind of leads into the final one, which is the sense of codependence. But, you know, trying to make excuses for my ideas is somewhere right in between, you know, holding open my chest and being open and taking up space, and knowing that I have the right to be my own self and to have my own presence and feel safe and secure and worthy, and knowing that I can defend that. And then later trying to push my ideas on others. There's a space right in between that's kind of more neutral, where it is, there doesn't need to be any excuse for the ideas that I have. If there's something for me to learn, if I'm wrong, putting my ideas out there is a way to take them seriously and to review them and to share them and have them criticized and work on them and make them better and put them out there all over again, and let that whole experience take its course. So getting rid of prefacing just allows me to start taking myself and my ideas seriously. I first must feel safe and feel strength. And now I want my ideas to just be as they are and let them be out there so that they can be challenged. The final thing is prefacing so that I don't have to take responsibility for the way that I want to change the way that you think. This one's a little hard to put into words, but, you know, I struggle with codependence. And, you know, if I couch my ideas enough to say, well, you know, I just think this way, and this is the way that I view the world, and, you know, I really hope that it makes an impact in your life. I do that a lot because I genuinely want to make an impact in your life. But if I do that with the hope to supersede your own ideas and guilt trip you into agreeing with me because I'm coming from this place of kindness and false kindness, this place of not wanting to really push anything on you, but I'm not giving you room for your own thoughts and your own experiences. I just have to keep pushing it because that sense of prefacing is that I'm telling you what it is, right? Without outright saying, I think you're wrong and you need to believe me. So I'm giving all of this package beforehand to say, oh, well, you know, it's just me, it's just my thoughts. But really, you need to get rid of what you're thinking. And I just am not having the balls to go out and say, I want to control what you think. You need to stop thinking the way that you think. You need to accept the way that I think. And I don't have room for you and your experience. But I just package it so prettily to make it more palatable and to make me feel justified in trying to push my ideas on you, right? Well, I was so kind about it. You know, all I wanted to do was to let them understand where I'm coming from. No, I want to change your mind. I want to make you think as I think, and I cannot stand if you're not doing that. So I tried to put this preface beforehand where I am making myself look so good and my ideas so good that if you disagree with them, it's obviously a problem with you, and not because I'm trying to manipulate you and coerce you into the way that I think. And that is something that I particularly struggle with because I was raised with a lot of violence. And my way of dealing with that was with coercive manipulation, was with appealing to people's emotions, was with being so likable and so kind. But it always came down to I needed to control the situation around me so that I don't feel threatened, so that I know that if you have an idea or a thought or a feeling, it's because I put it there, because I don't trust you to have your own ideas, thoughts, and feelings, because you may hurt me. Absolutely, that came from a place of, you know, being around grown-ups in my life who weren't responsible for their thoughts, feelings, and ideas and hurt me with them. And made that my responsibility, and it was pretty explicit. And I developed this particular personality trait around that. It really jived already with my own sense of, you know, intelligence and introspection and empathy. I used those particular skills, and they became a maladaptive coping mechanism of manipulation in order to ensure that the people around me thought and felt the way that I wanted them to, because that was what was safe for me. And I still struggled with that today. I mean, I feel that I have to be very, very mindful about how I communicate with people. You know, even within my channel, there's so much that happens in my channel and my communication with you. I do want to make a change in your life. I want to impact your thoughts and feelings, but I don't want to take over your thoughts and feelings. And it is a difficult line for me to toe, because that's the history that I come from. That if you have a differing thought to myself, I have to be scared because you could hurt me. And goodness gracious, nowadays, I mean, anytime, you know, anonymity gives people confidence that they wouldn't have in person. So typing behind a keyboard, you know what, Emily, your ideas suck, and you just think really terribly, and I just have nothing, I don't want to have anything to do with you, and I hope you go crawl in a corner and die. I'm getting none of those comments right now. Y'all, I'm so tiny. Like, thank you for my 3 viewers. I really appreciate you coming back. Dennis and John, thanks. You know, like Amy and Robert, thanks for having my back. So that's kind of silly for me to say right now, but that is a real fear that many people who have an online presence have. Even, you know, within our among our friends on Facebook or Twitter or, you know, whatever platform it is that we're on. Even among our own friends, people that we know directly, sometimes people can say really nasty things if it's hidden behind a screen. You know, even when we send text messages, sometimes we can send things through text that we wouldn't say to each other's face. That's why, like, you know, a text message breakup is so terrible. It's because you don't got the stuff that you need to be able to say it to somebody's face. So, you know, I don't want to tailor my message in such a way that I am not let me do this from a positive instead of a negative. I want my message to come from a place of confidence with my chest opened. I want to come from a place where I am willing to put my thoughts out there for review, because my ideas and my experiences are important. And with awareness comes accountability. So if there's something about my ideas that needs to change, they first must be expressed and thought about and talked about and put out there in the open and compared against others, and then, recalibrated against other people's experiences and my own experiences, and then thinking about it further, all of that stuff. And then finally, I want my message to reach you as you are, so that you can take from it what's important to you and integrate it into your own experience so that you can better your life. Prefacing can destroy these 3 things. Sometimes I'm still going to preface, like I did in my last video on, mysticism is BADONG. The reason that I prefaced was because I am saying unequivocally mysticism is BADONG from my perspective. That I believe that this is a truth that I want to share with others, and I do not want to alienate you if you lean on and into mysticism. And I explained why in my video on mysticism is BADONG. I'll go ahead and link that in the description, as well as the mysticism and spirituality. I will link both of those videos down there below, because they are what has led to this video today on prefacing. And I'll continue to provide a preface in so much that I am not engaging in those 3 behaviors. I want to make my message available to you. I want to connect to you. And if there is context that I can provide that, gives ease of access between my experiences and my ideas and my thoughts and my feelings and yours, so that we can be able to arrive together at this place that we want to be, which is a life of self-love, of efficacy, of beauty, of beneficence, of thriving. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to be very mindful to stay away from things that will destroy that experience. So I hope that this provides a little bit of insight into what prefacing is and why prefacing is also BADONG, but also within context, because all things require context. All things require context. The reason why they're important is because they are important within the context of reality. So context is essential. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all well. Namaste, my friends.